Whoa.
I met a red-headed ballerina. Up on her toes, you should have seen her. I played a guitar
Check.
song for her.
I guess. If you want
And the rest is
to type a
just
message.
blur. Some
Oh, it says
people
404.
say all roads lead away from yourself into
There's
the
a 404 right here. I'm guessing it's the 4 streaming services.
I don't know
Yeah, I
where
think
they
it's
grow that magic mushroom.
But then there's eyeball
Maybe they're
0.
just looking
Is
for
that
too
total people
much
viewing?
too
Because you have a higher number.
I met a chess-playing girl in the small. Oh, she wore glasses and she lived with frogs.
Very cool.
I never made any music
Hello,
for
everyone.
her.
We are pre-gaming here, but we want you to go to the stream. That the link is in the bio. That's on like YouTube, Twitch, whatever works for you. We're just trying to get the Instagram people to go there, and that's streaming now, we think. So hit us up in the chat there.
I don't know where they grow that magic
We're looking for questions about the new record and stuff. So
Maybe they're just looking for too
wanna ask Mike
much
anything?
too soon. Maybe they're just
Oh.
If you're out there and you can hear me, we're experiencing some tough technical difficulties, but we'll be right with you.
we tend to save for better days and look for someone else to blame. They might conceive of better ways. You or me, it's all the same.
Okay, I will.
Tendencies are here to stay.
Oh, if you're in this Instagram chat right now, go to the link in the Edgar Derby bio. You can click it and check us out on YouTube, whatever. I don't know.
Applause don't change the way we play.
That's the one I was.
Out the same door through which we
All
came.
right.
Chris is saying that the audio is live on the stream.
Excellent. Chris, can you hear us?
Chris, if it sounds good, can you message us in the chat?
So it went to
Take a second here to get some feedback, make sure this is actually working.
oh, so they say.
Sounds like the record's pretty loud. Yeah, it's better.
No, that one's not working.
Which one is that one? Is that the fun one?
Yeah.
Oh, thanks everybody. It looks like the sound is working well on the different services.
Let me fix this second camera, and then we should be good to go. Killian, you want to the people kind of what we're doing tonight?
Yeah, so we released a record today, February 13th. It's available on all your streaming services. We also have it available on vinyl. We worked on it in an interesting time in the world. It went from recording half of it in the beginning of before the pandemic was a thing to actually recording it as we went to Nashville to record the second half of the record. And it completely, the whole city of Nashville shut down after we got there, and we still had a few days scheduled left to record. And so we really got to experience the cusp of COVID. That's a nice alliteration. And kind of get that time down and that feeling down, and then in its own, I don't know what you'd call it, but the record was a bit prescient, it was a bit before everything. The future rushed up to the record almost.
That's a nice phrase.
Yeah.
Yeah. I would agree with that too.
The world came and met us, and that's not good necessarily, But everything we were thinking about,
it didn't feel good in the moment.
didn't feel particularly.
It was wild, but I think all of us, that's another unique thing about this is the whole of humanity is experiencing this pandemic together. When do you have a shared, hyper emotional thing with 7 billion other people?
Yeah, and that's a good point too. That it's not just the United States or something. You think of a very, I don't know what you'd call it, but maybe a titular event. You think of 9/11, or you think of something very specific. It's like, oh, that was America, but this is the whole world. And that's a whole different thing. It feels like, and you see how the different countries and their different cultures and their ways of doing things result in a completely different response to the same pressure.
Yeah. Certainly a unique moment, and to have been working so hard on this music and to have all of that happen.
Yeah, but what I was trying to elucidate there was that a lot of the music and the subject of the music was dealing with how things we were worried about, and some of those things started to come to fruition in ways.
Yeah.
The subject matter is not always,
is a little more relevant than I would like it to be.
Right. I mean, in ways that just felt extremely baffling sometimes.
For sure. So we have some feedback here. Is everything seem to be working for everybody?
Yeah, all these messages here, seems like the audio is good.
Can you all hear us? You can see us. It's a little disconcerting to do a live stream like this because it's really hard to tell if you guys are out there and actually getting the signals we're meaning to send you. So
there's a lot of technology between me talking to this microphone and you hearing it. So if you're on this Instagram live, go to the link in bio and check out the actual stream, because the audio there is not just the audio from my phone. There's like 2 or 3 of you guys, and then I'm going to shut that down. So that's not where the actual stream is. Go to the link in the bio. Thank you.
Yeah. I'd say you can go ahead and shut that down, because
I'm going to shut it down.
We're good. Well, thank you everyone for joining us. My name is Edgar Derby. This is my good friend and known associate, Killian Smith. He plays bass in the Edgar Derby band. Amongst other things, this is all very much a DIY operation, so we've all got several hats that we wear and shoes that we fill.
All your skills and abilities, you still didn't know how to hook up the lights, man. So
that's true. That is one thing I refuse to learn.
And then I hooked up the lights, and it caused all kinds of problems. So every day you learn a new thing or two. Hopefully,
In any case, we've cobbled enough skills together to make some music, to put on some shows, and at this point, like Killian was telling you, we've got our second LP out as of today. It's entitled Dancing in Death and the Place Where the River Makes a Sound. It's got 2 titles. And I am very, very proud of it. The part that Killian was describing being in Nashville and doing the recording, that was kind of the culmination of it, right? But it was a lot of blood, sweat, and tears for Just about 2 years in the making, I guess. And to be lucky enough to go out to Nashville, we went to a studio called East End Studio. It's run by my good friend Ben Jackson. He's an amazing audio recorder, mixer, producer.
Talking about lots of hats.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
Ben
and,
can do everything.
and on top of that, he is an outstanding musician. So it's a privilege to get to go out to his space and to do this. We also recorded part of it here in Denton at Cafe Solo Studios. It's run by Chris Howell. He's also an amazing dude, amazing musician, and we recorded half the record there in the summer of 2019. And
We got to get the chronological order here because it's
Yeah.
important to the describing how this thing
it
came
sort
out.
of is. We recorded 5 tracks in I believe it was June or July. I think it was June of
Yeah.
2019, and we did that at Cafe Solo Studios here in Denton. That's Chris's space there, and Ben Jackson actually came out from Nashville, and he produced and recorded there in Chris's space, and so we did 5 tracks there. And those were the tracks that Killian played bass on, and Kevin Cho, our drummer for the live band, played drums on those tracks. And it was important to me to get their voices on at least some of the tracks. My first record, Who We Are, I played pretty much everything except for drums. Ben Jackson played the drums and the percussion on that first record. And so we kind of reverse engineered that from the recordings. The dudes learned the parts for the live show. So on this go, it was important to me to get their actual voices on. And we did 5 tracks here in Denton. And then the remaining 7 tracks we did at East End at Ben's Space. And that was March of last year, 2020.
Mm-hmm.
Several months had gone by. We were psyched to go to Nashville to finish up the recordings. Killian put some extra work in. I didn't expect him to do this, but he learned the rest of the tunes, all the bass parts. And you're on all of them but one, right?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
I played bass myself on one of them, and Killian played the rest of the bass parts.
Mhm.
So he took off from real life responsibilities, and we went out to Nashville, and we started recording. Everything happened the way Killian described it. It was surreal. Since we were pretty much isolated from people anyway, besides Ben, we decided to go ahead and finish recording. So we did, and we came home right at that beginning of the quarantine time where everything was really uncertain. And coming off a studio session, when it's something you're serious about, when it's a passion project, that's draining enough as it is under normal circumstances. And to come home to my tiny apartment, which, by the way, that's where we are right now. This is my home. And
you went from one tiny box in Nashville to this tiny box.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and then I didn't leave for a long time.
Yeah.
And so to come off of that studio sort of pressure and just adrenaline and all of those emotions that go with having a studio session and coming straight back to like pandemic quarantine uncertainty, that is something I will never ever forget for the rest of my life. Whether you guys like the music or not, whether it gets listened to beyond tonight, I don't know. I don't know if that'll happen, but I know this is a unique thing that I will never forget. I feel really lucky that we got it in just under the wire. If we had our, I think about this a lot.
Yeah.
If we had that scheduled for 2 weeks later,
Right, which was a possibility at the time.
yeah,
We were trying to figure it out. But the timing worked out that we were some of the first people to cut. We were the first record basically cut.
I
East
believe
End.
we were the first full LP cut there. I think Ben had maybe done a few things before we showed
It was
up.
one of the first like full band things and stuff
Yeah.
like that. So it was really, the timing was that studio had really just come into its full like everything was online, everything was ready for us.
Yes.
We roll into town, and we were all excited too to go to Nashville. I'd never been to Nashville. I wanted to go.
Right.
To I wanted to go around. I wanted to go to. There's so much. I can't even start listing it all.
Yeah.
And it was like, oh, I think we're getting groceries and staying here for the rest of the time.
Yeah.
And maybe this will blow over quickly. You really have no
We
idea.
didn't know.
You try to think back
We
to the
didn't
beginning
know.
of quarantine, and it's like that's a whole other reality.
Yeah.
I was reading New York Times like, oh, it'll be over in a couple of months or something. I don't even know.
Yeah. That was 11 months ago. Sorry to remind you all of that, but
Yeah,
you know,
guys know about this.
it's pertinent here, and I think we have this sort of unique thing of going to the studio and making a record, and it's sort of a neat story, but it's basically every human in existence has a fairly similar story, honestly,
Right.
of just like my world changed, just the whole everything just took a left turn immediately. So yeah, we finished up the remaining 7 tunes. Everything sat in the can, so to speak, for a while.
Well, I mean,
And-
we didn't know what to do with it. The world's in such lurch, in such a state.
Yeah, I mean there was nothing to be done at first.
I
You
mean,
know, we had
dreams of today being a much different type of day to begin with, right? I mean, we wanted it to be pre-COVID. Let me be specific.
yeah, that goes without saying.
Right. It was like, we were going to have another release show. We were going to try to plan a tour. We were going to try to do all kinds of things. But now
not
we have it in
try.
the can.
All of that stuff was in motion, you know,
Literally in motion,
and we were going to do all the things that you know everyone should do when they're having a release, is have a big party, a release show, invite everyone who's got even a half vested interest in you, come see and come celebrate. And then we were going to go on our tour, which would be the first with this outfit.
Right.
All of that got thrown aside. But we did have the recordings finished. And after a little bit of time, Ben was able to start mixing them. And all of the post-production, thanks to technology, and I mean, the fact that we can come into your space wherever you are right now with this level and like multiple cameras and, you know, it sounds nice, it blows my mind. And so that same level of technology also allowed us to do all the post-production remotely. Mm-hmm. I was here at home. Ben, his studio space is there very close to his home, so he was able to continue working, and we got mixes done. We had a mix review session in Killian's space. You know, we took safety precautions and we wore masks, and we were able to take all the next steps all the way through to the finish line of putting it on 12-inch vinyl. If you didn't know that, we are releasing this on 12-inch vinyl. Where is it?
Here?
Let's show it to the people.
Here?
No, it's not that one.
Oh, that's a great record too, then.
Maybe we threw it away. Oh, there it is. You were right. I apologize.
Do I show it to camera?
Yeah, show it to the camera.
Which camera's
Or
on?
show them the front side first.
Oh, here, you do it.
Okay.
It's your camera.
Let's see. That might be too close. There we go. This beautiful cover art was done by our friend Caroline Halson. She is an incredible graphic artist, and
See, I don't know what's
that
with
camera's
it.
frozen.
No, but then it plays normal.
I don't think it does. Well, we'll try to fix that in a second. In any case, Caroline just absolutely killed it with this cover art. And then we worked with another graphic artist named Tessa Morin. She's also amazing. She helped us with the layout and a few other things. And there's our crane logo that we love so much. So we did get all the way through. We had it pressed at Hand Drawn Pressing in Dallas. John Snodgrass, and his crew there are amazing, fantastic, super nice guys, great to work with. I had a lot of questions and a lot of sort of little details that were important to me, and they're very patient with all of that sort of thing. They want your vinyl to be right.
Yeah, they were yes-anding it. They were like, "Oh, you want to do that? What else can we do?"
Yeah, for
Oh, you want
sure.
to put that in there? Let's put something else.
So we're grateful to John. We're grateful to Ben and Chris for the studio end of things, and then in between there, we're grateful to Maggie Luther, who did the vinyl mastering, Frank Gagliardi, who did the mastering for streaming and the digital side of things, and Maggie's at a studio called Welcome to 1979. That's also in Nashville. It's run by a gentleman named Chris Mara. He and his whole team there, they're stellar as well. So we feel very fortunate to have just amazing people all along the way to help us get here. I can't even tell you what it's like to hold this thing. It's pretty surreal. So, what are the people saying there, Killy? Are they bored yet?
A lot of highs here.
Oh, hello, everyone.
Someone's commenting the layout looks fantastic. Thank you.
Oh, thank you. I agree.
It's a year from studio to release and from lockdowns to vaccines. Oh, nice little parallel though, Chris.
There you go.
It was probably about a year when we got out of the studio to now. What's time? Time's
It's
complicated.
been 11 months.
It's been 11 months.
Mhm.
Okay, yeah.
Like 11 months minus a week, maybe.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's kind of the story of how this became a thing. The idea tonight was we've got the record player hooked up. Hopefully we can get this streaming through to you. But we thought we'd just actually take one of these out and actually spin a few songs for you. We're proud of it. We want to share it with you. Today is the first day that it's out to and accessible to everyone worldwide, by the way. I don't know if anyone's listened overseas yet, but
We can find out somehow.
we have some listeners all over the place. So tonight, we're going to go ahead and take this out, plop it on the tray there, and spin a few songs. I think maybe we'll start with one called Black Rain.
Okay.
This is actually the beginning of side 2.
And so satisfying.
Isn't it?
Oh, there's a whole color booklet. We can get into that at some point.
Yeah, but maybe we'll save that for
Oh,
people to see for
there's
themselves.
something in there for you guys to check out if you pay for it.
A booklet. I don't know if you can see that. It'll roll around in a second.
And that's
here.
180 grams since you guys can't feel it over the internet.
It's got our nice crane on the label. Yeah, 180 grams. It feels hefty in your hands. So, the other record's still spinning, dude.
Oh, no.
Here, I'm going to hand this to you for a second.
That's the first record. We're over that one now. No, we're not.
The
I'm
people
joking.
are, probably.
I'm joking, dude. Don't worry. I still like that one, even though I didn't play on it.
You didn't. You did not. All right.
So if you guys have any questions, if we didn't cover anything well enough, let us know. If you have comments, you can lay those out. I know Chris will lay them out. Ben Jackson says artwork is fantastic. Yeah, it looks great. It's really nice to see it fully printed up. Like you check it out on the phone. Mike would send it to me. Hey, what do you think about this? Is this looking good? I guess, man. I think it looks fine. But once you get it printed fully, and it's in that classic form factor, there's something just uniquely satisfying about it being the one you made too. I mean, I have hundreds of them that I didn't make or have any part of. Mike's preparing the platter here.
Who's Mike?
Oh, Edgar's preparing the platter here. Trying to do as many alliterations as I can.
All right, so let me make sure the level's okay here. We're going to spin a song called Black Rain for you. This is the first track from Side B.
That's right.
Side B is the second title, The Place Where the River Makes a Sound. And let me know if it's...
Yeah, put the cans on so I can hear it. Chris, we'll get to it maybe, man, okay? Sheesh. Yeah, it's coming through. I mean, you can hear us. Levels
First the colors and the human, so it goes. how far that friendly raven could have flown. Scattered breadcrumbs for the birds, they're taking flight. A flock of feathers wanders off into the night. In the end, it's true that all of them must die. Umbrella in a mirror to keep discernment dry. Standing in a black rain, there's a way of doing things. It doesn't make a difference if you're a thief or you're a king. Standing in a black rain, we slice the air with rigid wings. It's fractured, it's indifference, a drunken passion in a sling. When the stolen words are read for children's ears, the colors sculpt the shapes that they actually hear. The glory seemed imperative in what they cheered. The winter was the only thing the songbird feared. The winter was the only thing the songbird feared. Standing in a black rain, there's a way of doing things. It doesn't make a difference if you're a thief or you're a king. Standing in a black rain, we slice the air with rigid wings. It's fractured, it's indifference, a drunken passion in a sling. Is there something left to learn? Oh, I need a place to burn. Is there somewhere we can go to escape this tornado? Show me everything you've earned. Oh, I need a place to burn. Show me your big fancy rhyme, how it's meted out in time for a simple thing we earn. Oh, I need a place to burn. Are you falling from above? An explosion born of love, an abdication you can spurn. Oh, I need a place to burn. Yeah, I need a place to burn. Oh, I need a place to burn. Everything, 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 everything turns. Oh, I need a place to burn. If they called you the king and dressed you with a pair of wings, would you torment strong and stern? Oh, I need a place to burn. Yeah, I need a place to burn. Oh, I need a place to burn. Everything, 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 everything turns. Oh, I need a place to burn.
Mic check, check, check. I think we're back.
We're back. All right, so we gave you another song. Thank you for that applause. I appreciate that. The virtual applause has become a thing.
Yeah, it's really quiet. I'm just saying.
Oh boy. So I kind of forgot that on the vinyl version, Black Rain segues into the next track. So we just let it play for you. That second track was called "A Place to Burn." We've performed that one live.
We performed both of those live.
We've performed Black Rain live a lot.
A lot.
It was kind of a go-to. When I wrote it, we started playing it, and it was fun, so we kept doing it.
Yeah, and it got refined and honed in a little bit.
It for sure
in
did.
the live setting.
But Black Rain, we played it live maybe twice. And
No, Black Rain we've done.
I'm
live
sorry.
Plenty of time.
Place to Burn,
Place to Burn.
we've played maybe twice.
Really? Only like twice?
Yeah.
That one's really fun too.
I agree.
And some of those guitar tones, I don't know if you could see me on cam, but I was really digging them. Those things are gritty, juicy. Which town was each song recorded in? You remember?
Those were both from the Denton session.
Both in.
Yeah.
Were any
at
of the
Chris's Space?
Were any of the tunes recorded half in one, half in the other?
No.
They were all pretty much sealed up in each session. if you would.
We intentionally worked that way we wanted to get the tunes from start to finish with all parts happening.
Yeah.
And we did. We succeeded in that.
You think that helps just cohesiveness, or was it for peace of mind? Like, what did you like about? Why do you think that
part
happened
of
that way?
it was just to kind of be in the mind space for the particular tune and just kind of stay there. But the other part of it was I didn't want to have to cut 12 vocals in one session.
Of course, yeah. And some of the vocals, they get a little gritty. They get a little dug in on the chords there.
Yeah, I to this day I don't see myself as a singer by nature. You know, I've worked very, very hard to become a sort of okay singer in my own mind. Some of you have given me a lot more credit for that, and I accept that humbly and graciously. But I'm no natural singer. That's all I'm saying. And so some of these parts, we don't necessarily have to get deep into my songwriting philosophy, but a lot of people have heard me say this, that I feel like less of a creator and more of like this stuff exists out there in the ether somewhere, and I have like a little antenna and it just sort of picks it up sometimes, and it's all I can do to just write it down and try to get it right, try not to mess it up.
Just do your best to be the conduit and not impart too much of whatever else.
A conduit is a good word. You don't want to add any artifacts that don't belong there.
Right, which is easier said than done.
Sometimes it's real easy. It just kind of all falls out onto the page.
Right, and then you don't have to worry about it being your responsibility, even in a sense.
Okay.
Maybe responsibility is not a good word.
Yeah, I'm not
Let me
sure.
try again.
I'm not sure
Let me
what
try
you
again.
mean there.
Like
but
if it's from the ether, then you are not. I don't know. Responsible seems like the right term. Never mind. I don't know, because
I think I know what you're saying.
there's this balance between yourself, your ego, what you want, and what the ether wants.
Sure.
In this.
Yeah. Exactly.
And so
And
if your ego's not getting in the way, your ego doesn't even have to be involved, then it's hands off almost.
Yeah. And so to that end,
Right.
some of these vocal parts that I wrote, interpreted, pulled out of the ether, whatever, however you want to say it, were way hard for me. Some of them were objectively too hard for me to sing when I first wrote them.
We're talking too hard to sing via some vocal technique.
To be convincing
To be
with
convincing,
it.
right.
There are
Like-
some bass parts that are too hard for you to play at this point.
Right.
There's some guitar parts that are too hard for me to play.
Right.
I can maybe hack through it, but it's not.
But
it's not
too
all the
hard
way
in
there.
a technical sense, not too hard in a
In a
emotional
too hard
sense,
in a
or-
technical sense.
yeah.
And so, I had to, set out and try to mature as a vocalist for this record from where I was on the first one. And I think you can hear that. You
Yeah,
can,
I mean,
can
I'm not-
hear you can hear the increased complexity in some of the lines and the increased range, and a lot of it frankly it terrified me, the prospect of singing all 12 of these tunes
Right.
for posterity and put it on a recording.
Right. Even in just demoing the songs, you already felt like, oh, this is pushing my limits. This is on the edge.
100%. And so that was part of the thinking there is I don't want to put any vocals off to the end.
Well, in that sense, was there other musical aspects that you were worried about in the same way? Like, were you worried about, are we going to be able to get X, Y, Z? Not just the vocals, but were you worried about guitars or some sort of synergy or making a song a cohesive thing? Or
That, not so much. In working so closely with Ben for so many years,
Right.
I have a great trust in him, and he might give me a hard time for saying something like this, but I think he trusts me too. We'll wait for the comment to come through.
Yeah, you
if
can comment.
if he's out there listening.
He's out there. I've seen him.
But that makes it easier to just trust the process and know that those little details are going to pan out in the creative process.
And that comfort level allows you maybe to just let that antenna out, become the conduit, and say the producer side will be taken care of. And if something is not gelling and not making sense, he's going to be the first to let me know and know that my ego is not in the way and he can say something.
Yeah.
Is that fair to say?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
That's kind of crucial to the working relationship in the studio setting. And I mean, you were there. There were times where we spent moments chasing down just the right synth sound,
Right.
just the right guitar tone, and we spent an hour and a half on one little thing that maybe lasted 10 seconds.
Right.
But when it was right and it clicked, we were all psyched about it because you can tell that's the part,
Right.
that's the thing. Let's get it down.
Right. I was sitting back on the couch, 15 feet away.
Yeah.
And when it was right, it would click and it would feel immediate. And
Mhm.
it would be, oh, that was it. And you guys would even check in with me like, hey, was that it? Are we gassed up on ourselves or are we getting
Right.
confused? Have we lost the plot?
Sometimes. But
Right.
sometimes all three of us would just kind of lock eyes and be like,
It's over.
that's it.
Yeah.
We got it. And so, there's not as much trepidation for that side of things this time.
Versus the
It's-
first time, would you say the
The
trepidation
first time
was
there was,
higher?
oh yeah, a lot more, because it was my first foray into creating my own,
The first can be pretty scary as well.
taking my own thing, my own project, and going full bore with it and doing a full length LP. We intended to put it on vinyl from the beginning, so like, just going for broke like that.
Oh yeah, this thing's going to be pushed down
It's-
onto some wax for eternity. Well,
Yeah.
okay. It's going to be out there.
Pretty close.
It's
It'll outlast you.
Oh, easily. Right. So that is a bit of
It
not
was-
a gamble, but a scary proposition.
It was a harrowing experience,
Right.
to be sure.
And
but
so you knew Ben at that time for the first record. You guys had known each other, but maybe not completely in that light.
no,
Right. So you're
well,
that
see, it's
relationship
interesting
built-
because we were in a band together for a long time.
right.
We played together hours and hours, hundreds and thousands of hours together. So,
But knowing
that-
each other as musicians is not the same as knowing each other in the studio, even as musicians.
no.
And not even.
no,
also,
it's not, but it goes a long way towards that.
Interesting.
And like, I would have been surprised if it hadn't panned out that way. I would have been surprised
Right.
if we had trouble seeing eye to eye in the studio.
I mean, it happens though,
happens all the time.
constantly, right? I mean, you hear just about records you love that
Yeah,
the producers
but
in the band were literally at odds.
That's
fighting
sort
each other.
of what I'm saying, though.
Right.
It's like I had confidence already because of how long my relationship is with Ben. We've known each other for years and years.
Right.
That would have surprised me. And
Oh, I see.
and once you go through making a record with someone,
Right. So the second one.
you
get back to
kind of
what
know
it
how
is.
it's going to go,
Right.
and you know the ideas you have, and you know the approach that Ben's going to take, and that all of that. I could get 3 or 4 steps ahead in the process in my own head.
You didn't have to get locked into some nitty gritty. You felt like you could let go and take care of something else.
Yeah,
Interesting. Yeah.
yeah. There seemed to be less kind of checkpoints along the way, whereas the first time I kind of had to feel things out,
Right.
and then the second time you're kind of starting from here and going forward. And I mean, I think that comes through in the music too. It's definitely matured, not just in what I was writing,
Right.
but in how we realized it in
Right,
the studio.
And part of that, to get all the way back to the top of this line of thinking, was you were worried about the element of the vocal performance, but when less of other things is on your plate, you have more room, you have more energy, you
Exactly.
have more time to go, okay, I know I'll have the gas when we get there, and I have to go into the vocal booth and lay down whatever it is that, and I don't have to dial that back. I'm allowed to really push that and feel how far it can go.
Right.
And let that walk itself all the way out, instead of me being worried about the bass part because someone took care of that for me.
Right. Exactly.
So
Um,
yeah, I think that interaction is really huge, and something that maybe casual music listeners aren't always aware of, but that there's an interaction between the musicians and what they're doing and the producer, and that varies constantly, but the end result is 100% determined by that interaction. We've stepped out of an era where we weren't Ben wasn't in a lab coat in behind bulletproof glass, super away from us. He was as much part of the cohesive unit. You know, he wasn't wearing, a lab coat and tracking the Beatles onto the half-inch tape and not doing trying to do no impact on what the musicians were doing.
Yeah,
He was as much an active participant in the creative process.
sure.
And when with anyone, any creative thing you're trying to do, that comfort, that respect, that feeling of being at ease with them, or whatever it may be, being able to have that interaction is going to color the final product.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, I think at this point, and certainly for this project, I wanted that. You know, I wanted my producer's input and whatever that's gonna bring to kind of enrich and embolden the music for sure. And I think it helps too that Ben played. Okay, so we didn't cover this part, but on the tracks that we recorded in Nashville, Ben played the drum parts and the percussion parts. And I think having him actually playing music on the tracks too helps him kind of feel more intertwined in the whole thing.
Right.
As opposed to just being on one side of the glass, like you're saying.
Right. Having, getting his feet wet with the actual music.
Right.
I don't know. This
All
is
right.
It's interesting to me. You know.
We got any salient comments, questions, anything?
Well, Chris was back here wanting to hear the beginning of side A.
Okay.
He has a personal reason to be worried about it.
Okay.
But
Let's talk about that for a second. The first track on the record is actually Small I, is it's sort of a preface to the whole thing. If you follow Edgar Derby at all, you might have picked up on some like book allegories.
Yeah.
And it's I very much see the music and this record in particular kind of brought that all the way to fruition. I see it as a story, a narrative. I feel like it should be consumed the same way you'd read a novel, and that's something that's changed about music lately. Is you take a song you like, you put it in your playlist. If you were reading Moby Dick, you wouldn't read.
Which you should. It's great.
You should. You wouldn't read chapter 7, and then read like chapter 12 of Wuthering Heights or whatever.
Yeah.
I don't know why that popped in my head, but
right.
So I hope that you will listen to this record, you dear listeners, in the same way that you might read one of these books like Slaughterhouse-Five. You start at the beginning and you go through to the end. And so,
it can be a heck of a journey too. It can be all over the place in time and space, and
it could.
I'm sorry.
The main point there is that there is a narrative flow, and so if you consume the record from Small 1, which is the first track here, we'll talk about that in a second, all the way through to track Arabic numerals 12.
I think
you'll get a greater. There's something more if you listen all the way through. That could just be me being a brilliant self-marketer and saying, yeah, you should listen to every track.
Yeah,
there's really the small details you got to listen to it 5 times in a row.
You have to listen to it over and over so we get our
but
our Spotify numbers up.
But it really is that way. That's how I've crafted it. That's how it came out of my brain. It's one of those things. If you listen more, you're going to pick up more small details, and there are callbacks and there are themes that go throughout, not just this one, but all the way back to the first record.
That's what I was about to ask.
And
this concept was implemented in the first record as well. Really.
Yeah, I mean, it's the whole thing that the whole project is built around.
Now, as a reader, should I listen to the first one and then the second one? We're talking records, first, second record?
Ideally.
Or
Ideally, sometimes you can pick up a Harry Potter book,
right,
the second one, and not miss out too much.
So this is like series of books, but they're separate books.
Yes.
Okay. So record 1 is not like chapter 1, chapter 2, something like that.
It is. Chapters 1 and 2. That's why this is chapter 3 and chapter 4.
That's the distinction I was trying to get to. Yeah.
Yeah, in my mind, it's like each side of the record is it's a new chapter.
I love
And
that idea.
this one starts on chapter 3 because this is the third side.
Oh, it gives it away on the label.
Counting the
Yeah.
first one. Well, it tells you.
It
yes.
tells you, not gives it away.
And you can see that right there, maybe chapter 3 and chapter 4. It's there, I promise. All right. So, first track, Small I, is titled. This is German, so I'll slaughter the pronunciation, but
Slaughter.
it's Ein feste Burg ist unser Gott, which means a mighty fortress is our God, and it's actually an old Martin Luther hymn with music by Johann Sebastian Bach.
Yeah, I mean, you can read the
It's-
Wikipedia page. The history's a bit varied and convoluted. It's a couple hundred years in the past. So
It's old school classical music, basically, and there's a whole backstory to why and how, and there was a whole adventure to make this piece of music happen. But the gist of it is that my good friend Michael Soto, who is an amazing organist, played it. It's a piece of organ music, and he played it on an antique instrument that we found specifically for this track. He did an amazing job. It sounds beautiful. Ben did an amazing job with making it feel just right to be the opening of the record. This is the first sounds you hear when you put this down on your turntable. So
I mean, it's
that go
a
ahead.
great example of what we were talking about a couple minutes ago, of the producer's insight onto it. I mean, we brought him some raw audio
Mhm.
of a great performance by Mike, and then it had to be stitched together in a way, or it made it into the cohesive unit.
Yes.
And it was beautiful before, but to make it to get you into the record, to get you into that intro of that book, it took that extra something from a producer as well.
For sure. And, my conception of it was it has to be this piece of music, it has to be on this organ, and it has to lead into the first track. And, then I kind of had to go to Ben and be like, that's what I've got.
Right. But you
And-
tell
and
him those rules.
He kind of put the stitches
Right.
in and made it work together, married it together
And
in a beautiful way. So let's hear it. The track is Ein feste Burg ist unser Gott. It's going to lead into small I 2, Roman numeral 2, which is the Edgar Derby track titled If It Ain't Broke. So we'll hear those two now. Let me make sure this is still. Yeah, it is. Let me know if you can hear it, Killy.
Mhm.
If we consider things that silence brings and finesse our calculations, run with metaphor, they all want something more. Did we learn to remember? We fill the killing room ad infinitum. We work with ghosts all the time. One is red, one is blue. one is just like you. Lest we forget history rhymes. Today is a special day to forget what they say. Did we learn to remember? If we walk through the snow to help with letting go and finesse our calculations. I've read many pages, it's the same throughout the ages. I work with ghosts all the time. One is seen, one is true, one is still just you. Let me repeat history rhymes. There are more questions to be asked of the latest iconoclast. We've ascertained a cannon blast and details of a sordid past. When weeping becomes safe again, we'll cry the tears they never can. And when we've made winter our friend, we'll dry our eyes with desert sands. If it ain't broke, don't break it. 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 If it ain't broke.
All right, we back.
We're back, I think.
All right, that's the beginning of Side A, or Chapter 3, Dancing in Death, if you will. Ein Festeberg ist unser Gott. I wish I could
Great
pronounce
job.
that well. Leading into If It Ain't Broke. Again, that performance at the top there by Michael Soto.
I think the BMV number of that is 80.8, if you guys want to look it up.
That's a music nerd Bach thing. Don't worry about it. Michael, we're very grateful to have Michael around. I actually went to high school with Michael, and we lived our separate lives for a long time. And then
Not that long.
he kind of came back around and enrolled at school at UNT to study organ further. And so we've gotten to spend time together, not so much for the past year, but before that. A very just lovely kind of reconnection.
A stunning musician and a great friend.
Yeah,
And I'm really glad that we have him here in the community.
likewise.
Yeah.
Likewise.
I mean,
And you know what? He's got
before-
a recital very soon.
yes.
So if you guys are into that, I'm sorry, Michael, I don't remember the date off the top of my head. It's in my calendar though, but we're
But you
using
can
the
follow
phone as a
us-
camera. So just you guys let me know if you want to hear this, which you do,
You
and
could-
we'll get you a link
You
and
can
stuff.
follow us on Instagram, and we'll share when it's going down.
Yeah.
How about that?
Absolutely.
If we
Um,
can cross pollinate here. follow us on
Michael's very talented. It's worth hearing. What's
Yeah.
that say?
He says, "Aw, thanks. April the 5th."
April 5th. There we go.
We saw his last performance was a live stream during the pandemic recital, and it was shockingly beautiful. I stood up at the end. I was incensed that there
In your
wasn't
living room?
outrageous applause.
You were in your living room.
Yeah, man. And
You got to set the stage.
Oh,
a
I'm
little
sorry.
bit.
Yeah, it was quarantine times. I was stuck in the living room.
Watching the live stream.
watching the live stream on a nice pair of speakers, and it reverberates out into my living room, the beautiful end of a fantastic organ piece, to stunning silence. It was very painful, but that's just the power of the music that he was laying down there.
Yeah, Michael says we'll share a little bit of the lore here and of the experience of recording that piece. If you want to hear the whole story, you track me down after the quarantine and say, tell me about this Bach thing at the beginning of your record, because it's an incredible story. But to parse it down just to one little tidbit, we went and found this antique instrument. It was in great shape, and
the sticker on it says, not even a sticker, the writing on it says 1898 was when it was built.
Yeah, a very old instrument. It might have been older than that even. But we take it home. Michael's an expert, so he's helping us, and he's kind of cleaning it up. And then something on it breaks through no fault of anybody. It just happens to break right before it's time to go record. And so we're missing a key. So the the song is in D major key. Michael had to play it in D flat, which, if you know anything about music, that's not necessarily the easiest thing to just flip on the fly. But good thing Michael is a pro. It was no big deal. And I think in the end, it actually really kind of adds to the color of the whole thing. Mm-hmm. Yeah. The key of If It Ain't Broke, which is the song that it leads into, is D major. So if you're musical, you can do that math. If you're not, just listen to it and appreciate it and know that it's D flat into D, and there you have it. Yeah, but we're grateful to Michael.
The key that was broke was an A, so for you other music nerds, you can figure out how that doesn't help D.
It's important in the key of D. Okay, so I do want to give one more shout out to my friend Courtney Marie. I had the insane task of this is I'll show you a little bit of the booklet. This is the front of the booklet, and it's got lyrics and stuff inside, but on the front you typically have like a track listing. That didn't feel right to just kind of print out the track listing, and so my dear friend Courtney Marie, who is an incredible artist in general, but her specialty is poetry and making art from words. And so I tasked them with taking the song titles in order and composing 2 poems using those song titles. It's an insane directive. Like, I didn't know what was going to come out of that. All I knew was that's what had to happen, and that Courtney Marie was the person to do it. Well, you'll have to see this, and I think maybe we'll put this out there for everyone to have, regardless of if you pick up the vinyl or not, because it's just too good. The poems are amazing, and obviously the first one is Dancing in Death, and the second is The Place Where the River Makes a Sound. They're beautiful, and I am forever indebted to Courtney Marie for making that unique and right, and it just makes me happy every time I look at it. And the rest of the booklet is pretty cool too, I think. So
we talked about that already. That Tessa laid that all out.
Yeah, Tessa Morin, who did some of the layout for the front as well. She and I kind of worked together on the booklet. Is kind of a nutty concept. I won't give it all away, but Tessa was instrumental in bringing that vision to light too.
Equally nutty idea that was, again, like having the help of a producer, having the help of a visual producer.
Oh,
in
yeah,
this sense.
absolutely.
Make, the crazy idea that you wanted to lay down possible, which you almost would be hard task to do without the help of someone else.
1,000%. 1,000%. Yeah,
we talked about it before, like, is this going to work?
It really takes a small village. Yeah. And just to give you kind of a tidbit, Edgar Derby is all about like the memento, little trinkety type things that are wrought with meaning, and we were able to incorporate that into the lyric booklet. along with all the lyrics, you get a little bit more explicit idea of what is happening in the tunes, which is something I didn't get to add to the first record. So I'm really pleased. Just over the moon, frankly, about the packaging and how it all comes together as like a physical thing in your hands. Not even speaking of the sounds, right? The sounds are great, and I couldn't be more happy about those either. But the visual side of things, it's exactly what it needs to be, and it just blows me away to have it in my hands.
Yeah, especially on a project where you're very intentional about the imagery and the association with the imagery, and that dives down into the lyrics and into the musical content, but having that visual, having that literary, like the physical poems and whatnot is already you can't get that on Spotify in the same way.
No,
You have to have
it's not the same.
the memento,
Yeah.
of the occasion of what it is, the physical pressing of it.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, so I want to address a question from Jennifer. Jennifer asked if there's a song I'm particularly proud of. I'm proud of all of them, and to get them all to a highly produced and polished state is like, it's a heck of a feeling. But I think maybe one I want to play for you is a song called Little Boy. This one, will always be a little extra poignant for me, and the recorded version just it came out really well, and I really do love how it sounds. And this is another one, Little Boy, that we've played live maybe once or twice.
yeah, a handful of times, but it wasn't worked in live. We didn't really figure it out.
Yeah.
We went to the studio with a good demo, but if you listen to the demo versus the final, you can tell what was added.
Yeah,
was
no one's hearing that
crucial.
demo, so
Oh, sorry.
just be.
For those of us that have heard the demo, and we're
Yeah,
part
so
of that,
the demo sucks,
the
man.
demo sucks, man. No,
No.
but it was a similar. The moments we were talking about earlier. There's a synth part in the center of this song that elevates it, and it immediately clicked in the room. We all went, "Whoa, there it is! That's exactly what needs to happen," and then tucked it right in. And now the product was, elevated after that moment.
So I'm gonna attempt to drop the needle onto, I believe this is track 6, or track 4 after your 2 preface titles.
Right, get it right.
On side 1, chapter 3, Dancing in Death. It all gets very complex. This one's called Little Boy. I'm gonna try to drop the needle in the right spot. I can hardly see though. Oh yeah, there's no chance, dude.
You need me to give you some light, brother?
Yeah.
Hold on, folks.
Come on this side.
Yes, sir.
Oof. Let me just head that.
Yeah.
Seriously?
It ain't about me this time. But you've got to give me some sort of sign. I could paint the sky with lightning bolts and crimson dye. Little boy, can't you see? Little boy, I'll set you free. Little boy, haven't you heard? You can fly like a bird. A word escaped your lips. A stalactite a journey up with me, beyond mountains above the sea, where a dark horizon grows. See the curve that no one knows, count the clouds and give them names, till there's one that's not the same. Lightning strikes and ashes fall, we'll stay here till we've named them all. Little boy, don't you see? Little boy, just like me. Little boy, you won't be hurt when you fly. When you fly. When you fly. Like a bird.
Check, check. We're back, I think. Man, that's a beautiful tune. I love it.
That one's called Little Boy. Track number, it's numbered 4, but it's the sixth piece of music on side A.
How's that work on Spotify?
That's
It's
the end of the
actually
side.
6
On
Spotify?
Spotify, it's actually track 6. Yeah.
Ugh, so annoying, man. That sucks. Can't win with these digital services.
So Chris had a question. He says those are interesting titles. How do those come about? Typically, the title comes from the lyrical content. Whether it's specifically part of the lyrics or just kind of thematically tied. There's always some sort of meaning to the title. So I don't know which one you're talking about specifically. But If It Ain't Broke is part of the lyrics, and I think if you listen closely, you can kind of surmise what's going on there lyrically, poetically. Black Rain is about a specific thing. Yeah, what were you gonna say?
No, I got confused what we were talking about. I was like, we're talking about Little Boy, or no? If It Ain't Broke, it's part of the lyrics.
Yeah, well, Chris mentioned those are interesting titles, so I don't know which songs he was talking about in particular.
Well, we're talking about the titles as a function of the poem by Courtney, and that concept. So.
Oh yes, yes.
That's when that comment came.
I see. Good point.
Yeah.
Yeah, so thematically, they're important somehow, usually having to do with the lyrical content. So I think at this point, if you guys have any more questions, we're happy to answer any questions. But if once we've done that, if there are any, we're happy to play a couple of tunes for you tonight.
Whoa, you guys didn't know about that.
This isn't like a concert, but we've got some instruments here, and we're happy to play a couple if you'd like to hear them. If you're all tired and want to go to bed, that's fine too.
Chris is asking for some clarification. Sounds of the songs inspired the titles, like the titles were derived from the songs, not the other way around. I guess he's wondering cart, horse, horse, cart. Title. I think it's kind of a mixed bag. Seems like a mixed bag, somewhere between the two. Sometimes the title is
yeah. If you mean song, by song you mean the lyrical and the musical content. Yeah, they kind of go hand in hand. It goes back to that little antenna thing. Whatever comes through, I don't know. Sometimes the I guess in my mind, the musical sonic content and harmonic content, melodic content is sort of inextricable from the copy, the words, the text that goes with it. So, yeah, it's like what's first, chicken or egg sort of thing.
right.
Yeah.
It's hard, especially like we were talking about earlier. If that antenna's just out there, you don't get to decide.
Looks like the folks want to hear some music. Looks like Ghost wants to hear some music. Connor, somebody else, I'm not sure.
People are saying because the bad weather's coming in, they're just gonna stay up.
Everyone's hunkering down. So let's play a couple tunes, Killy.
Okay.
You want to start with Black Rain? Since we
start with
were
Black Rain.
trying that earlier.
Yeah, we were having fun playing it earlier.
Let's start with Black Rain, and then we can play a couple more. You guys can throw out requests. That doesn't mean we're prepared to do it.
We could try anything.
But we can talk. We can. Everything's on the table right now
See, part of
until it's not.
the pandemic thing, to take it to the top of the conversation, is rehearsals are not as regular as they have been.
True. Well, okay. That's a great segue. Because lately they have been, because we
Why
are
would we be rehearsing?
today, if this was normal times, we would be playing a big knockdown drag out balls to the wall record release show. It was gonna be epic. I was salivating at the thought of all of the things and the theatrics and the lights and
Yeah.
it, like real fire.
Yeah.
It was on the table.
Absolutely.
We were trying to have real fire in the show. We can't do that, obviously. We're still going to have a record release show. It's not right now. This is not the record release show. We'll play you some tunes. But next month, I don't have a specific date quite yet, but very soon I should. We're looking, hopefully next month, we'll have a big record release show. It will be streaming because COVID safety is still of utmost importance to us. But it's going to be very high quality. We're pulling out all the stops to make it the best live streaming show that we possibly can. And so it'll be good. We'll have more details about that coming very soon, hopefully. Hopefully within the next several days or a week. So stay tuned for that for sure. But yeah, let's go ahead and start with Black Rain.
I think you covered everything there about that.
Cool.
Yeah.
Good.
No. Yeah. So the thing is, yeah, we have been rehearsing more in preparation for that.
Safely. With masks
In the garage.
with the garage door open and
distance,
safely spaced apart.
Yeah.
I do want to probably mention this before we start playing so I don't forget. One person that I still need to shout out is one Mr. Alex Hastings. He is a fantastic musician in his own right, and we have been graced with his electric guitar tones. I basically usurped him into our band at this point. I don't think that's the right word, but it's close. But yeah, Alex is fantastic. I didn't get to
he's the Pat Schmear of the group, for those that were wondering.
Yeah, he's the Pat Smear to my Kurt Cobain. If I'm not going to compare myself to Kurt Cobain. Why did you do that to me?
Sorry, man. On cam and everything.
I'm going to turn your mic off.
My bad.
In any case, I didn't get to get Alex's tones on the record. It just didn't work out that way. But in my mind, he is very much a part of this group. And I'm very lucky. We're very lucky to have him along. He's an amazing guitar player. And he adds so much to just the textural thing, the dynamics, and just the harmonic richness. A lot of what you hear on the recording, Alex is instrumental in making that come to life in the live show. So I really can't wait for you guys to hear this record release show, and specifically a lot of Alex's parts that he's worked hard on. They sound amazing. So yeah, we're grateful to Alex too, and you guys are. I know some of you guys know Alex personally, but some of you may know him from other groups that he's played with. His own band called Fresh Ghosts is amazing, and I actually return the favor and play electric guitar in that band.
You're his Pat Schmear.
In that case, yeah, we're not going there.
Sorry, my bad.
I'll stop. But it's great fun playing Alex's tunes. His tunes are amazing. They're different from mine, and so it's refreshing. We get to play compositions that are kind of different from what we personally would do, and it's just great fun having a collaborative relationship with him. He's also guitarist for Claire Morales' band. He has played in several bands. The DeMigs are super amazing. We haven't heard from them lately, but they've got a lot of amazing stuff out there that Alex
discography out there.
Alex
Incredible.
is a big part of, and yeah. The Hope Trust. He's played with the Hope Trust. Kelly Upshaw, and yeah, that's amazing music there too. So
I mean, Alex is just a consummate expert at his instrument. His
Yeah.
his ability to find that tone is instant and natural.
Yeah.
And on guitar, that's voodoo magic half the time. And
I
he
agree.
really kills it.
I agree.
I mean, he'll just hit that tone just right, and it is absolutely satisfying. So
Yeah.
to have him as part of the group and be able to do that on the fly and to the level that he does is incredible.
I agree 100%.
It makes it so fun to play with him live.
Yeah. So if you haven't gathered this yet, it takes a small village to make a piece of art like this, and to make it convincing, you gotta have people on your side. And I'm very, very lucky to have so many great, talented, wonderful people who see some merit in the Edgar Derby project, and it's just great fun. And I'm so happy to have it out in its entirety for everybody to stream. So it is out there on Spotify, Apple Music, wherever you want to stream it, it's out there. If you can't find it for some reason, let me know, and I'll give it to you somehow. We'll make it happen. I just want you to hear it, you know. So let's play Black Rain, Killy.
Okay.
And yeah, if you guys want some more information about any of this, follow us on Instagram at Edgar Derby. Facebook is at Edgar Derby Music. The website is edgarderbymusic.com. We're out there on pretty much every platform, so come find us, shoot me a message, send me some memes on Instagram, whatever. We'd love to hear from you guys. Thank you for hanging out. We'll start with Black Rain, and we'll go from there. And as people get tired of it, then we'll stop. But we'll play 2 or 3.
Why not?
Why not?
There was actually a request for Anyway, which is an incredible tune. We got to play that one.
I think we can play anyway.
Look who requested it, too.
All right. Let me get my monitors in.
Yeah, I really love a couple of those DeMiggs records and that line of producer, musician, and how it gets blurred in modern music. Alex is more than familiar with, and we get to talk about that a lot when we talk about his different projects, all the different ways he's interacted with his own music. Just to tie the conversation back to that earlier, Alex is an expert in that sense too.
Check. You want to play me a note? Does it seem about right to you?
Yeah.
Well, so more you musical-minded people out there, if something sounds funky to you, let us know. We have some adjustment capabilities here. Ben Jackson, I'm looking at you.
Yeah, and I can see the cell phone, so
All right, I'm gonna kill your microphone.
yes, kill the mic, please.
All right. If hopefully y'all can hear that, we're just gonna give it a go here. First the colors, then the human, so it goes. Red, white, black, from your fingers to your toes. When it started, there was no one could have known just how far that friendly raven could have flown. Da, 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 da. Scattered breadcrumbs for the birds that taking flight. A flock of feathers wanders off into the night. In the end, it's true that all of them must die. Umbrella in a mirror to keep discernment dry. Standing in the black rain, there's a way of doing things. doesn't make a difference if you're a thief or you're a king. Standing in the black rain, we slice the air with rigid wings. It's fractured, it's indifference, a drawn compassion in a sling. Colors sculpt the shapes that they actually the glory seemed imperative in what they cheer. The winter was the only thing the songbird feared. The winter was the only thing the songbird feared. Standing in a black rain is a way of doing things. It doesn't make a difference if you're a thief or you're a king. Standing in a black rain, slice the air with rigid wings. It's fractured, it's indifference, a drawn compassion in a sling. Da 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 da. Da 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 da. Da da da. Da da Black Rain. Hey.
Fucking lovely. So nice.
Easy
Sorry.
there.
Excuse me.
Easy there. Does that sound okay, y'all? Anyone still there? We got some claps. Thank you so much, Tim. Thanks for tuning in.
Is my mic back on or I'm out?
What's that?
Mic's off.
Your mic's off. You need it on?
Yeah. No one needs to hear it.
I have control over your
No one
voice.
needs to hear the basis.
We're trying to play Anyway next. You good with that? You got it?
This one's really nice to play.
Say it again.
This one's nice to play as a duo.
I agree. Yeah, this one's called Anyway. Let's give it a go, see what happens. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. You tell me fish can jump, but he ain't got no legs. You tell me it's not a joke, the chicken came before the egg. You know every story you tell I'll believe. Yeah, I'm on pins and needles, there ain't no reprieve. I haven't found where to go. Cool. That one's called Anyway. Yeah, track number 5 or around there. Also on the new record. This one we've played here and there, but again, hasn't been performed too much.
We must have only played that live like a couple times.
Yeah, I've played it myself. Thank you guys so much. What do we got in there?
By just saying, love it, great track, sounds good, very good.
Great. Do you want to try Better Being Lucky?
Better Being Lucky.
Yeah. Do me a favor. See if there's a guitar pick on the bar there. Can you? You're real strapped in.
Gotta get my order of operations.
Sorry. This is a ongoing inside joke. Is I'd never have a guitar pick on me somehow.
Where would it be over here?
I don't know. Just dig around.
Here's one that says Mars on it.
Good enough. I'm not picky. Thank you.
Wow. And he's got jokes too, man.
Oh yeah, that was no pun intended. I didn't even get it. So we'll play one called "Better Being Lucky." This is track number 3. If you're going in absolutes, flip it over. There we go. This is one where I'll really be missing Alex's guitar parts, and when I used to play this, I would kind of approximate the part on my guitar, and I haven't had to do that lately, so we'll see if I can remember how that even goes. This is called Better Being Lucky. This is a tune about there's a very specific character in my mind when I'm singing these lyrics, when I'm thinking about this song. It's kind of about a person who has so much privilege in life that they're completely oblivious to it. And maybe not even necessarily in a bad or nefarious way.
They don't know.
It's just the truth. Better being lucky.
Paint a picture in your mind. You don't need details, everything's fine. Roll yourself up a hill, so you catch on with the porcupine quill. Hey! Cupcake with a spoon, walk a tightrope between the sun and the moon. When it's time to make a kill, ask that soldier to please stand still. You don't need to have some fancy name. You don't have to play some pointless game. The ones out there, whoa, they're all the same.
enemies, they won't get far. Shoot an arrow down a hill. It doesn't matter whose blood you spill. Plant on top, a twill on bottom. I don't want my wingtips, but I forgot 'em. Fire that motor, ask her to dance. Keep things in order. Oh, to hell with romance. You don't need to have some fancy name. You don't have to play some petty game. The ones out there, whoa, they're all the same. Just when you think you got everything tame, the whole wide world it goes right up in flames. The ones out there, whoa, they're all to blame. There's nothing wrong with being lucky. Better being lucky. Thank you everyone. Do we still have people out there? Yeah, actually we have more people now than we had earlier. Wow. Thank you all for listening. You know, we wanted to do something tonight. We had to do something tonight. I personally, obviously, was really bummed that we didn't get to do a proper show. So this is nice. It's been nice to kind of talk about the process and talk about the small army that it takes to create this thing, and just to take a minute to be proud of the damn thing. You know, it's good, and there's something cool about doing it from my home, from my living space, and propelling this out to y'all via electrons and telephone cables or however it works. Is it satellite now? Maybe there's a satellite involved. I don't know. I turned your mic off, so. But yeah, thank you guys for listening. We'll keep playing. So as long as you guys sit here, you tell us when to stop. How about that? What we got? What do we got? Oh, Killian says, where can we order the vinyl? That's a great question. This can be found on bandcamp.com. If you go to edgarderby.bandcamp.com, great enunciation. You can order it from there. You can order it straight from the Edgar Derby website. Actually, I think it just kicks you over to Bandcamp. But edgarderbymusic.com will always have extra stuff for you. There's some music videos up there.
We'll have via USPS, right? Anywhere in the nation you can get this thing?
Yeah, we'll ship it wherever you are. It's a real thing. You can go on Bandcamp and you toss a few extra bucks in for shipping. At some point in the near future, we'll have a little bit more happening in terms of merchandise and that sort of stuff, and we'll have a full-fledged thing by the time we do the record release show. Hopefully the latter part of next month. But for now, bandcamp.com. If you're local, let me know, and we can transact in whatever way is most convenient for you. Local being Denton, Texas. Or, the DFW Metroplex at large. If you're not around here in North Texas, get on Bandcamp, order that thing. We'll get it out to you. We're about to have a blizzard, though, so it might be a few days delayed. And if you pre-ordered it, you expect a little bit of a delay. I apologize for that, but snow and ice is the order of the week, so that it might be a little bit delayed in getting out to you all. Should we?
There's no requests here. I mean, somebody wants to pop in with a request.
Yeah, if you have any more requests, we can play old ones. What is that came through there?
Ordinary Men,
Who said that?
Ghost of Blind Lemon.
Okay.
That's a great track.
You know what, Ghost? We'll do that. We'll save it for the end though. You up to it?
I've been practicing it a lot, so.
Well, then let's play it.
Okay, but that's the closer you're saying?
Yeah, we'll do that last. We could play Blood and Mud.
Insane B&T.
Oh, we could do B and T. You wanna try that?
Yeah.
Let's do that. Here's one called Bridge and Trellis. I want to make sure this is still working right. It's a little disconcerting when there's that delay, huh? Yeah, we're still doing good. Cool. We'll certainly get to Ordinary Men. That's Chris. That's how we'll get you to stick around till the end. Yeah, we'll play your request, but at the very end, so you have to stay. This one is called Bridge and Trellis. This is also off the new record. This is a tune I wrote quite a while ago. I always liked it, and it was always just kind of missing something. We got in the studio, and it was still kind of missing something. I think you shared in this too. We weren't really 100% convinced until we heard the master at the very end.
Yeah, this one
And-
really
and,
set out.
Something happened to it there where it really transformed and became the tune that I always hoped it could be. That sounds pretty cheesy, but it really is nice on the recording. So go check this one out in particular. Whether you have the vinyl in your hands or you're going to Spotify or YouTube or whatever, Bridge and Trellis.
It's one we played live quite a bit.
Yeah, and that's true. We played it live quite a bit, and it's metamorphosed from there. So it might be nice if you've come to some of our shows. It'll be familiar to you, but it'll sound robust and the way it should, really. What's that?
We also got a request for Find Your Voice.
Okay. Whoa.
So.
We have decisions to make. Let's play Bridge and Trellis first. just do find your voice by myself.
into it.
I'll just do it by myself.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right.
There's a smiling moon tonight, swimming across the sky, blue sky. Planet shines through bright. I used to know her name, maybe that's why. A comet appeared for us, drifting across the sky, black sky. It was so dangerous, but I taught you her name, ain't no reason why. Come on and find yours, give a name to the wind that rolls by. You know you got a choice. Take your time while you're singing your song. I'll wait until you're ready for me to sing along. There's a man at the slaughterhouse, digging his way through rubble and char. Say goodbye to the opera house. It's where I first met you, wondered who we are. So come on and find yours, give a name to the wind that rolls by. You know you got a choice. Take your time while you're singing your song. I'll wait until you're ready for me to sing along. Let a flame warm your soul. Let it burn, oh so slow. Well, I haven't played that one in a while. Thank you for requesting that. Whoever did that, that was fun.
People love that song, man.
That was fun. Do we get anything else in the pipeline there?
Nothing else. I mean, we can close it out with that one.
Yeah. So We'll do it.
We have to follow that up, man.
We have to follow that up.
God.
Yeah, I want to play it for the ghost. Do you want to do it?
I think we can do it.
So this is, yeah, we certainly didn't intend to play this song at all tonight. But
Talk about the world rushing up to the subject matter.
yeah, you know, if someone is requesting the song, and I'll talk a bit about this because it's a lot. There's a lot happening here. I wrote this song in 2019, well before the events of last summer in regards to race rights and civil rights and the sort of racial reckoning the whole country's going through still. The song was about marginalized people. It is about marginalized people. And the refrain that you'll hear at the end, you know, it's kind of been a phrase that's been around a while and has been a loaded thing and has been used for certain things. But when all of that sort of came back around and came into sharp focus last summer, I was simultaneously sort of disappointed, but at the same time relieved that this song hadn't come out yet, because it was just too on the nose and too. You kind of alluded to this earlier about some of the songs having this emotional content to them and having a sort of a lot of the material comes from my moral compass, and this is certainly maybe the high watermark for that sort of sentiment. This song was featured a few weeks ago. Music blogger in Dallas, Ghost of Blind Lemon, was kind enough to feature it on his music blog. And
recognized it for the content.
He did. He recognized the sort of moral calamity that the character in the song is sort of facing headlong. And so this song is heavy. It's called Ordinary Man, and it's the last track on the record. And we didn't intend to play this. I was sort of trying to keep it in my back pocket really till the big release show, but I think I'm so grateful to you guys for hanging out with us tonight that I think we'll give it a go. And I think it's just as much of a reward for you and me to get to perform this for an audience, because it's never been performed for an audience, basically. Yeah. So the recording's been out there for several weeks now. But we'll go ahead and debut a performance. This is Ordinary Man, the last track on Dancing with Death, the place where the river makes a sound. Thank you all so much for hanging out with us, for your questions, for your interest in the project, and just it's overwhelming to get so much support from all quarters. And you know, a lot of what we're doing here seems really unconventional sometimes, and sometimes I wonder, like, is this just too off the wall? Have I dove too deep in this time? But you know, the music is what it's gonna be, and I'm just happy to put it out there. I hope you guys go out and listen to the record. Try it out from top to bottom. One of my friends earlier was like, I'm cleaning the house today, I'm just going to start it from the beginning. And I'm like, man, that's perfect. That's exactly how you should be doing this. So we'll play the song for you, but go clean your house and start from track small letter I, Roman numeral 1, yeah? And you'll end up here, track number 12. This is Ordinary Man. Cool. One, two, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. You want to review it? You got it? 2, 1, 2, 3, right.
Ordinary man. The wrong place, the right time. You get to decide where the devil lives. You get to decide who the devil is. Ordinary man. The right place, the wrong time. You don't get to hide behind circumstance. You don't get to lie about blood romance. The rhyming of history. We are creatures of subtlety. Can we consider things with the slow regard silence brings? Ordinary men, you be the same until you're well and truly dead. Ordinary men, you've seen your way and tried to be truly well read. Ordinary men, an inherited heritage of catastrophe. Ordinary men, you will rewrite the missive that your children will read. The rhyming of history. We are creatures of subtlety. Can we consider things with the slow regard silence brings? Take your time, plot a graph, use the courage of your convictions. Up in flames, a giraffe, where once was innocence distilled. Taste the shame of the last laugh, use the courage of your convictions. Tease the names of the last, where once was innocence distilled.
Thank you so much, y'all, for listening. My name is Edgar Derby. The new record is Dancing in Death, the place where the river makes a sound. It's available everywhere now. Go stream it. Share it with your friends. Share it with your enemies. Let me know what you think. Let me know what your favorite song is. Let me know what your least favorite song is. I'm so grateful to you all for hanging out with us tonight. I don't know which camera's on me right now. But thank you so much. Your support, it means the world. And it's so much work sometimes, but it's worth it for moments like this. So thank you from the bottom of my heart. And I know I can speak for Killian on this too. Thank you so much. We will be having an after party of sorts on an Instagram Live. So go follow us on Instagram at Edgar Derby. We're going to hang out and just relax and spin some more vinyl. Not Edgar Derby. Whatever else we got a lot of records lying around. So yeah, we're just gonna hang out, maybe drink some tea, watch the snow, spin some vinyl. So thank you all again so much. Come join us on Instagram if you'd like to keep the party rolling. Thank you and good night.